Hey everyone, James Azar here with CyberHub Engage. We're at RSA, and finally, beyond the video, I get to sit with Nigel. Isn't that awesome?
It's awesome. It must be awesome for you.
When I see you on video,
Yeah.
I feel like there's a screen between us.
Indeed.
And now there's no screen.
There's nothing.
We can touch.
Yeah. We could. But we're not allowed to. We have to do this. Yeah.
Corona alert. Corona alert.
Right.
But this is a new segment for us at CyberHub Engage.
Cool.
You get to be our first.
Oh wow. And the best.
And you're going to set the standard. So just remember.
Okay.
Low standard.
Other people can improve. High standard. Everyone else fails. Yeah.
Just remember. So this is our vendor spotlight. It's a part of how we at CyberHub Engage want to show you the quality and the value that our supporters can bring to your organization. And so for the next about 10-15 minutes, we're going to be talking about Unbound.
Okay.
So first of all, tell us the story of Unbound.
Okay, so Unbound.
You and Yuta are pretty much academics. You're not exactly known for your, serial entrepreneurship.
Well, I've had a startup before, about 10 years before.
Okay.
But Yehuda's always been in a university, except he'd kind of been advising companies. And I went to a meeting in Tel Aviv, and we were on the beach in Tel Aviv, overlooking the sand and the sea. And Yehuda's had this idea, and he explained this idea to me. And apparently my eyes lit up with dollar signs, is what he says. It's because it was just like, wow, because we've got this technology, multi-party computation, and the real problem academics have had since the 80s is actually trying to work out how you could use it in a simple way to solve real problems that real people have. And he had cracked it. And then the result is Unbound.
So when people hear cryptography, their eyes start to roll over.
Yeah.
They start to imagine numbers.
Yeah.
And codes.
Yeah.
And movies.
Yeah.
And bad Hollywood interpretation of what cryptography is all about.
As long as they've got, good, attractive Hollywood stars playing the main character, then
Which
I'm
they
fine.
always do, right?
Yeah.
It's always like someone really, really handsome doing it.
Because that's in real life.
Yes. Awesome. You're just as charming in person as you are on video, Nigel. And so, kind of taking that into the idea of key management and what Unbound does, tell us about the platform. Tell us what value can it bring an organization?
Okay.
Value.
Okay, so the thing is, what an organization has is they have to do key management. And key management is, do you control your key? Do you know where it is? Is it secure? Now, there are two traditional ways of doing that. You keep the key in software, or you keep the key in hardware. Software's kind of nice, it's kind of flexible, you can update it, except it's software and easy to break into. Hardware's kind of nice, it's nice and hard, it's kind of very, very secure, but the problem is it's hardware and it's very inflexible. Now what Unbound does is secure the key using multi-party computation. So what we do is we take a key, say the number 7, and we split the number 7 into two numbers, 3, say, and 4, because 3 plus 4 is 7, and we put 1 in one location and 1 in another, and then we use the magic of multi-party computation to produce the effect of the key without bringing the key back together. So what you do is you get the flexibility of software solutions for storing your key, but with kind of almost the same level of security as if you put it in hardware. So what you get is you get flexibility plus great security at the same time, and this enables you to do more interesting things with your keys. It allows you to be more reactive because it's a software-based solution. You can stick it in the cloud, respond to elastic demands, etc. And it just gives you more flexibility and lowers the total cost of ownership for customers.
So speaking of lowering the total cost of ownership for customers, obviously there's been a lot around key management, the fact that cryptography is complex, the fact that there's a huge shortage of professionals.
Yeah.
So how does using Unbound really kind of address those issues?
Okay, so it's no more complicated than what you're currently doing. So if you're using cryptography with HSMs or with software, you're probably using a standardized interface like a Microsoft Standard API or using PKCS 11. And so our stuff just works with whatever industry standard interfaces are. So you rip your existing provider out and you put our provider in, but with the added benefit, it's more secure than software and it's more flexible than hardware. So you kind of get benefits straight away, but it's easy to install in the first case.
So taking that kind of company, what's your vision and how does the future of Unbound look like?
Well, okay, I would say the future looks great, because it does, yeah. But I mean, our vision is that we want Unbound and our technology to be the technology of choice for key management and key storage going forward, especially when we have the world is going to be with cloud services, much more elastic demand that you have to respond to, that traditional solutions don't respond to. And we're seeing, increasing usage of cryptography in a huge number of applications, from cryptocurrency, code signing, you name it, it's going to be everywhere. And we see that Unbound provides the flexibility that, with this increased use of cryptography we're going to see going forward.
So we're looking at kind of the on-demand cryptographic service here behind us. So we see the cloud, we see the on-prem and kind of like data center, and we see that the app piece of it. Bring this all together for us.
Okay, so what this picture is showing is that in your organization you've got keys everywhere. You've got them in the cloud, you've got them on-prem, you've got them in the appliance. But we can use our multi-party computation on any of those or all of those. So if you want to split your key and put half of it on, or one part of it on Google, one part of it on AWS, or maybe you don't trust the public cloud with it, so you want to put a half on AWS and then a half back on your on-prem, we can cope with all of that capability, all of that complexity with one solution.
How easy is it to scale Unbound?
It's very easy to scale Unbound.
And implementation?
Implementation is very easy because it's software, it's elastic, so if you have more demand coming, so imagine you're a financial institution, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you get a peak, we can spin up more instances of the Unbound servers for you to respond to your elastic demand, which you can't do with hardware, yeah? If you want hardware, you have to buy as much hardware as you need for your peak. Whereas with us,
you can scale up,
scale down, and therefore it's much more flexible in the modern environment where you're on the cloud.
So, do I need to train? Am I going to have to go hire 5 people to monitor and implement Unbound, and then train them, and go through the whole thing of, you can buy all my great shiny things, but you're going to have to train and find people that know how to use them?
No. Because, as I said, we're using standard industry interfaces. It's doing exactly what your existing implementation currently does, and there's no change. So if you've got so imagine you're doing a cryptographic signing operation, you Unbound secure your cryptographic signing key, but all of the deployed devices which are verifying the signature, they don't have to change at all, because we're working with standard algorithms, nothing changes. You don't have to worry about the complex cryptographic stuff, because that's what we've worried about. That's what our expertise is, to worry about that so you don't have to.
So I want to kind of talk about an industry problem and see if you guys can solve it. A lot of the stories we see in the breaches, you and I even talk about on our Friday wrap-ups. Someone has spun up an instance in an Elasticsearch server somewhere, misconfigured the cloud, data everywhere, a researcher's tweeting at you going, hey, you've got a server that's just... Can Unbound help manage those instances?
If you got so we don't manage the instances, we manage the keys.
Right.
So if your insecurity is because you put a key somewhere stupid, we can manage that. So for example, this is something you see quite a lot, is that you have small companies would spin up Amazon instances to do their website, and therefore they've got running a TLS connection. Inside the TLS connection is their private key. And if they're not very well experienced, they're just going to put that on the server, and if you broke into the server, you get the key, you got the keys to the kingdom. With us, we can help them secure that cryptographic key just using Unbound technology, which will be easier to scale for them as they go from being a small company to a big company. So we're with them for the whole journey.
That's awesome. I mean, listen, I was telling you earlier, you gave a talk at RSA, and I missed your talk, and you were like, you would have been bored to death. And I was like, I'm telling you, I love cryptography. I feel like cryptography is the base, and key management is the basic. We talk about blocking and tackling a lot. And as a CISO, I'm always talking about blocking and tackling. And key management is basic blocking and tackling.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people overlook that. They go, well, my data's encrypted. And you're like, well, is that really what, you got to have more to it. You got to be able to manage your keys. You got to be able to really have visibility. You got to be able to see when your keys are being used, who's using them, how they're, and you guys do all those things. You guys give someone a full visibility into who's using the key when, where, how long, all that data.
And going back to your thing is, you said like the data's encrypted. So this is kind of a story that I like to kind of explain what MPC gives you. Well, our underlying technology is MPC, multi-party computation. Now, traditional cryptography is about securing the data when you transmit it. This is what the Enigma machine was. This is what's called securing data in transit. So everyone knows how to do that. You use cryptography. And then the next thing was securing data in storage. You encrypt your hard drive on your laptop. You encrypt your database, yeah? So you've got data in transit security, and we've got data storage security, data at rest. But actually, data is completely pointless unless you secure it when you're using it. And that's what MPC gives you. It's the cryptographic technology that actually completes the issue of how you secure data. We're securing data as it's being used. Unbound at the moment is focused on securing cryptographic keys whilst they're being used. And that's what our technology is doing, but the MPC technology can be used for anything where you want to use data and you want to secure that data during use.
Awesome. How do people engage with Unbound?
They contact us. We have websites. They can come and see us at amazing shows like this. Just contact us. Every customer talks to us.
You've also got two very happy faces right there.
Two very, very happy faces.
Yeah, you guys want to come on camera, say hi? Come say hi. So people know who to talk to. We've got Marty.
And we got Raz.
And we've got Raz. And Raz does not smile very often. So we've been trying to improve that.
Yeah, and they need to get better at telling jokes.
Yes, definitely get better at telling jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't tell our jokes on air.
Yeah,
We'd both get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, not allowed to swear at all here.
No, you can't say motherfucker. You just can't do it. Micah's just like, what did you do?
Hey, and this is amazing. He said more swear words than I have this time.
That is very true.
That's very true.
Typically, you outnumber me like 2-1.
Easily, yeah.
Easily, yes. Folks, Unbound, proud supporter of the CyberHub Engage podcast. We're so glad to be with them here at RSA. Make sure you check them out. Contact these two awesome guys, or reach out to Nigel if you don't want to talk a lot but you want to laugh more. You reach out to Nigel. If you want to get to business, talk to Roz and Marty. They're dressed for the show, and they're ready to go. That's it from us here from RSA. We'll be back with so much more later on the CyberHub Engage podcast. Thanks so much for the support of our friends here at Unbound. Until next time, stay cyber safe.
Cool.
That's one.